we're all here for that very special reason, and we thank you very much for being here. It is time for us to go ahead and continue with our program. Would you please make welcome Mr. Hiram Sasser.
Noticed that John David Wells stole my haircut. I'm Hiram Sasser from the Liberty Institute. I work for Kelly Shackelford. He wished he could have been here today, but he's going to be on his radio show.
Put the mic closer to your mouth.
Okay, how about this? I really got bad hearing. All right. Guys, I want to give you guys a history lesson real quick. A lot of people have talked about the separation of church and state over the years. You've heard that, right? You've heard that phrase? You've heard about Thomas Jefferson, and he wrote this letter to the Danbury Baptists talking about this wall of separation of church and state. You want to know what that conversation was about? I'm going to tell you today because it's very pertinent to this. That conversation was about government control of religious institutions. That's what that conversation was about. So whenever you hear somebody talk about separation of church and state, what they should be talking about is banning this mandate, is ending this mandate, because that's what this is really all about. Amen. This is going to be separation of church and state. That means the government cannot cross the barrier and invade the province of the church and invade the province of religion. That's the whole point of the letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote. Let me read to you the letter that spawned his letter. This is the letter that the Danbury Baptists wrote to Thomas Jefferson. I'm going to take the time to read this because I think you need to see what the folks were thinking about at the time of the founding of our country. This was on October 7th, 1801. It says, "Sir, among the many millions in America and Europe who rejoice in your election to office, we embrace the first opportunity which we have enjoyed in our collective capacity since your inauguration to express our great satisfaction in your appointment to the Chief Magistracy of the United States." Remember when they used to think of things like that, think of leadership in that way? "Our sentiments are uniformly on the side of religious liberty, that religion is at all times and places a matter between God and individuals, that no man ought to suffer in name, person, or effects on account of his religious opinions, and that the legitimate power of civil government extends no further than to punish the man who works ill to his neighbor. But, sir, our Constitution and government is not specific." They were concerned. They wanted to make sure what I just read, they wanted to make sure that would be true in America. So they're asking the President of the United States, what do you say about this religious liberty that the government shall not invade? And they go on. And they say that, and such has been our laws and uses, and such still are, that religion is considered as the first object of legislation. They are concerned that what religious privileges we enjoy as favors granted and not as inalienable rights. Isn't that what we always hear? That your freedom, it's a favor, it's a privilege. You don't have any rights. Yes, right? That's what they always say. Well, see, this is what's going on with this mandate. This is invading your inalienable rights. That's what the folks were concerned about at the founding of our country. This concern is not new. This battle is not new. This is just a new thing that's happening in this country with this particular mandate. And then it says, "It is not to be wondered at, therefore, if those who seek after power and gain, under the pretense of government, should reproach their fellow men or should reproach the chief magistrate as an enemy of religion, law, and good order, because he dares not assume the prerogative of Jehovah and make laws to govern the kingdom of Christ." What they're saying is the president should never do that. The president should never try to enact laws to govern the kingdom of Christ. But that is exactly what is happening today.
That's right.
What I will share with you is Thomas Jefferson's response. I'm glittering now, if somebody can pick that up. All right. That was the wrong page. Okay, here it is. Here it is. "Believing with you," this is Thomas Jefferson, "believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other than for his faith or his worship, that the legislative powers of the government reach actions only and not opinions, I contemplate with sovereign reverence that the act of the whole American people, which declared that their legislature would make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state, adhering to this expression of the supreme will of the nation, in behalf of the rights of the conscience, I shall see with sincere satisfaction the progress of those sentiments which tend to restore to man all his natural rights, convinced he has no natural right in opposition to his social duties." That's what this is all about. The next time someone tells you about the separation of church and state, you look them dead in the eye and you say, that's not about tearing down monuments. That's not about scrubbing God's name off of monuments. That's not about telling kids they can't pray at school. That's not what the separation of church and state is about. The separation of church and state, the battle over that idea is this right here. It is the government invading the province of religion, and we must stand against it as our forefathers did, or it will take us. Thank you.